Let's talk about The Rock. We saw The Rock at Bad Blood last weekend. He showed up. He had his People's Championship over his shoulder. He did the cutthroat sign, and it looked like they were planting the first seed for whatever is going to happen at WrestleMania next year. Otherwise, why the hell would this guy be back? But then we had an update from Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And this is what Meltzer had to say about The Rock's status for WrestleMania in Las Vegas next year. He says, as of right now, Dwayne Johnson is not scheduled for the show. Obviously, that could change, and he's going to do what he wants all the time. While nobody can say it publicly, some with old school mentalities did not like the idea that he stole the show and it's not building to a match. Talking about Bad Blood last weekend. He's not going to be able to do Mania. He already gave word that he would not be able to do that match when he was asked about Rock against Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes. The story is simply his schedule got too heavy and he could not commit to doing it right. Ultimately, it's October, and he would probably have until just before the Royal Rumble if he were to change his mind, and really, he probably could even change his mind after that, but it would throw everything into chaos as they have to have Mania plans when formatting the Rumble. Johnson's schedule has always been a factor because of the amount of preparation time he feels he needs to do in order to do what he wants to be able to do. It's why the original plan for him to face Roman at Mania in Los Angeles in 2023 did not happen after it had been talked about for years. Now, just on that point, I don't know where he's getting that from, because Rock has publicly stated that the reason that the match in 2023 in Hollywood did not take place is because they met to talk about it, and then they couldn't figure out a good enough idea, so they put their pencils down. So at least publicly, Rock never said, well, I need to get myself into shape, and the way I need to get myself into shape, I don't have time. He made it sound like it was more of a creative issue. We just couldn't come up with the right idea for that Mania, so we put our pencils down and we just said, we'll come back to it. But now here, Meltzer is saying something different. Now, I talked about this on Friday briefly in the SmackDown review, because that's when the news dropped. And I said, look, it's Meltzer, so I know, not the best track record this year. And so it may not be true, but if it is, and then I kind of talked about, well, if not, then that clears the way for a proper WrestleMania match then between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. So good. Because as I look at Mania, everything revolves around The Rock again, whether it's Rock and Roman, Rock and Cody, Rock, Roman, and Cody. They got this great story they could tell with Cody and Randy and the history that they have together, but it just feels like they either can't do it now or they have to rush through it because we got to get to Cody and Rock, or Cody can't lose the title before he gets in the ring with Rock. And so that takes the drama out of Cody possibly losing the title between now and Mania, which I am all in favor of. I would do that. I would have Cody lose the title and then he could chase to get it back. But you can't do that if they want the belt on him for a match with The Rock. So again, if Rock can't do the show, yeah, that's a huge star that they're losing on WrestleMania, this big show in Las Vegas next year. But great, you could do Cody and Randy. But I'm reading this and I'm thinking, I don't believe any of this shit. Like, it doesn't make sense for him to show up after so many months of being gone at Bad Blood. He's got the vest. He's the final boss. He's got the music. He's got the Brahma Bull belt. He's looking at Roman. He's looking at Cody. This was a sign that something is coming. It's not a sign of, hey, I just want to remind you people that I'm alive. And yeah, I'm not going to be at WrestleMania. Because if Rock is too busy to do Mania, or he doesn't feel like he can get a long enough training camp to get in shape for Mania, his training camp, he had a full training camp like a real fucking fighter this year. It was weeks and weeks and weeks. He vlogged it. Like, it takes time. If he can't find the time to do a training camp to be at Mania, he's not working a match at the Royal Rumble. He's not working a match at Elimination Chamber. He's not working War Games at Survivor Series, okay? It's either Mania or bust. Then why was he on the show last weekend? It doesn't make any sense. So a fan asked Rock about this on Instagram and said, are you really not working Mania 41? Say it ain't so. And The Rock responded to this person and said, don't believe any of that bullshit. So there you go. It doesn't make sense because it's bullshit, according to The Rock. Now, Meltzer did have an update. Apparently, this is from Wrestling Observer Radio last night. He said, I know he was not confirmed for the show as of Thursday, so if something changed, I'll find out. If he wants to do it, he's doing it. It's up to him, obviously. As long as it's confirmed by when it needs to be confirmed, it could be confirmed at any time. They want to know going into the Royal Rumble where they are going, and at that point, we'll see. But yeah, that's the deal. That's very different than what he said the other day, though. Of course, it's October. They may not have their Mania plans locked in yet. Royal Rumble is still a few months away. Royal Rumble is not until the 1st of February. So I'm not shocked if Rock has not yet confirmed what his status is going to be, but that's very different than saying that Rock went to them and said, I can't do it. I'm busy. I have a scheduling issue. I have a movie to shoot. This seems like two different conflicting reports from the same fucking person. Maybe Dave's got multiple personalities, and one personality is reporting one thing and the other personality is reporting another. Maybe he has a newsletter personality and he has a radio personality. And they seem to be in conflict with each other. Dave number 1 and Dave number 2. Rock will be at WrestleMania. I don't buy into this shit at all. This is going to be a big show in Vegas next year. There's no way that Rock is not going to be on that WrestleMania show in some form or fashion, probably in the ring, but in some form or fashion. I don't buy for a second that he came back last weekend and he's not going to be at WrestleMania next year. Jesse Ventura talked recently about doing business again with WWE and being on the verge of signing a Legends contract. Well, he is officially back in the fold. Nearly 6 months after revealing that he was in negotiations with the company, he announced on Thursday in a video that he has signed a WWE Legends contract. And he called it a full circle moment. He said, I thought it was time that maybe I tell everybody, indeed, hell has frozen over. I am back in the WWE as a legend. I've gone through negotiations, we've reached agreements, and I feel very good about it. You know, I'm 73 years old now, and my life has now gone full circle. I got my first fame and fortune in the wrestling industry. I went on to do many, many other things above and beyond wrestling. And now maybe it's only right that I come back to wrestling in the twilight of my life and finish off with what I always was, a pro wrestler. I'll just say this, there's even bigger and better stuff waiting to happen. Let's remember one thing. I never did get my shot at Hogan, did I? Oh no. I don't even want a tease of anything like that. Jesse don't need Hogan. Jesse did just fine on his own without Hogan, or riding Hogan's coattails. I'm glad that Jesse is back in business with WWE because it gives me hope that maybe in like the next video game or something, they can get his voice in there. Like, he may not want to do, commentary now on TV. And I doubt he's even familiar with the product. I mean, is he sitting there watching fucking SmackDown every week as the Bloodline story plays out? Give me a break. What do you think? He showed up at the arena a few weeks ago and went, holy shit, it's Bianca Belair. I'm a huge fan. Like, give me a break. So I'm sure he's not up to speed on the stories and stuff, but I would love it if they can get his voice in that freaking game. I don't know if it's too late, right? The game usually comes out in what, March? What do you think? 2K25. You get Jesse Ventura back on commentary in the game. That'd be great. But even just doing other projects with him, maybe he can host specials of some kind, like throw it to classic matches on Peacock or something. Yeah. I mean, there's any number of things that they could do with him, even if he's not going to be actively on television every week. He still has that voice, he's 73 years old. He's older now, but he still sounds the same. He's got that booming voice. I'm sure they could find stuff to do with him.